I mean, actually out of the two central bank meetings, the Bank of Japan and the Fed, the BOJ was supposed to throw up some fireworks. Well, it's not. It's kind of been in line with expectations. It's still significant, but it doesn't do anything for the market in that sense, especially the Japanese yen, which was kind of bubbling with enthusiasm going into the meeting. Let's turn our attention to the Fed now. What I've basically done is I've gone back a month when the countdown to the Fed really started. I mean, one Fed meet starts, the countdown to the next begins. But I've just gone back a month and divided this into three parts. One is Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole happened after the last central bank meeting. Then we'll talk about the data and then all the commentary from regional Fed presidents. At Jackson Hole, it was Stanley Fischer, the vice chair at the Federal Reserve, who actually stole the thunder from Janet Yellen. And this is what he said. And the quote is going to come up on your screen. We are reasonably close to what is thought of as full employment, and the inflation rate this year is higher than last year's. The big numbers are better than they have been for some time. So, he kind of set the stage right at that important Jackson Hole summit to say that things are looking better and maybe one should expect a rate increase. Then let's talk about the data. Again, there's been numerous data points. We're just sticking to 2 or 3. The August jobs data came in line with expectations. That was a big one to watch out for. But after that, the ISM numbers and especially the retail sales, they were pretty weak. They were pretty sort of sluggish. Yesterday, for example, you had the housing starts, which kind of disappointed as well. So that's on the data front. Now let's get to who said what. And this is the regional Fed president commentary, which I've just divided into levels of hawkishness, right? So Eric Rosengren and John Williams, who are essentially presidents at the Boston Fed and the San Francisco Fed, made a case for September rate hike. Dennis Lockhart and Charles Evans, who are Fed presidents at Atlanta and Chicago, they kind of sounded unsure about when they wanted to increase rates. And then, of course, the most dovish of them was the commentary by Lyle Brainard, who's a member of the Fed Reserve Board of Governors, and she kind of was extremely dovish. And she has been dovish, by the way, the most dovish amongst the lot over the last year and a half or so. So putting all these things together, what can we really expect? No change in rates. I mean, remember, the Fed has waited for substantive signals before they move on interest rates, right? We got one in December, nothing after that. So no rate increase, that's the expectation. The futures, the Fed fund futures are indicating a 15% chance of a rate increase anyway. The focus is going to be on the post-policy statement and, of course, also on the commentary at the press conference, which is going to be conducted by Janet Yellen. Back to you.